This is the final video of recasting The Simpsons, and really Springfield. Now this video is a little bit of a roundup. I try my best to really section off the members of this beautiful show, but alas, there are some people who fell by the wayside. So today we're looking at those random people of Springfield who I simply didn't have room for, and seeing who could portray them in live action. There are a number of videos before this, so check them out if you already haven't. But for today's casting, we're tackling Apu, Dr. Hibbert, Mayor Quimby, Duffman, and Troy McClure. So let's recast The Simpsons one last time. First up, let's tackle Apu. Now, Apu starts off as one of the worst stereotypes within The Simpsons, but thankfully, he advances from that. He ends up turning out to be one of my favorite characters, and that's mainly for the life and the warmth he has. He just seems so hopeful. Of course, he finds love, and it's a beautiful thing, and children, of course, rip that away from him, but it's important we have that nature, that American dream that lives within him. I want to go younger here to give that hopeful nature and really that optimism, and give that opportunity to steer a little bit away from that stereotype if need be. I went with Ravi Patel, who yes, can lean into that stereotype and do the accent if we want it.
I believe I remember her, yes. She was wearing a red sweater. I drove her to Penn Station. Is something wrong? Is she okay?
Or lean away from what the role has had before.
So the idea is that food reminds us of our upbringing. Like if my mom put pictures up of Indian food up on the walls, like that would make me remember my entire life.
Either way, he has the right energy for this. That hopeful, warm presence. I think he's around the age that I would like to see here, and someone who really wants that American dream. So Ravi Patel as Apu. Next up, we have Fat Tony. Now, let's get this out of the way. Everyone knows that Robert De Niro is perfect for this. But just like we did with Ned Flanders, that's a little bit too easy. So let's look past the typical. And although Robert De Niro works, let's be honest, there's no way he would be doing a Simpsons live action. Still, we need someone who's obviously larger in stature and plays well into that wise guy persona. I think Vincent Pastore would be my next in line for this. I mean, he's been doing it for 20 years and plays it so well. I think it's his time to be the big boss, and I actually think he fits the look better than De Niro himself. And although the mafia stories have kind of dried up a little bit, check him out in this commercial. This guy still has it.
Hey, it's me, the Gabagool. And today, I'm gonna teach you how to make these Dietz and Watson hoagie bites. This is friggin' delicious. Not for nothing. But now, you gotta chop them into little pieces so your guests can enjoy them.
So Vincent Pastore as Fat Tony. Next up, let's do Mayor Quimby. Now, with the mayor, we need someone who feels that kind of sleazy, but talks like a politician. That's the one thing that always stands out to me about him, is that voice. He's kind of got JFK type mannerisms, but obviously over the top. Now I end up going with Nathan Lane, who doesn't feel quite as sleazy as we need here, but that voice and really that face fits so well. I think he can really play things up as he's done in the past, and really nail that political side of this role.
Thank God for Citizens United.
That makes 22 ambassadors to France so far.
And 25 million bucks. Bloom. I have to tell you, running Trump was smart. But your idea about building a wall across the Mexican border, brilliant.
So Nathan Lane is Mayor Quimby. Next up, let's do Duffman. Now the voice, the persona, the muscles, it's a loud performance. And who better to put a performance like this than a WWE alumni? John Cena just makes sense. I mean, Peacemaker, his dominating presence, it's just right and you don't have to explain it.
Becky Coolidge, yeah, that's right. I haven't seen her in like 10 years.
I think you might be my real dad.
What?
So John Cena as Duffman. Next up, let's do Dr. Hibbert. Now Dr. Hibbert, much like Apu, has this warmth to him. He kind of makes light of everything, and his laugh is just so iconic. He needs to feel like an older father figure and really be the voice of reason most times, but still feel like he's on a little bit too much laughing gas. Now I decided on Gary Anthony Williams, who's done many types of roles in the past, but I'm mainly looking at his time in Malcolm in the Middle, where he just plays so happy and has this flavor of life.
Sure is a beautiful night.
He really gives you a sense of what he feels like, and it just feels right for Dr. Hibbert. Now, he is a very talented voiceover artist as well, which I think just makes him even more perfect for this role, which means he can probably nail that laugh and do something beyond the typical.
It's really not like that with me and Kitty. Sure, I might let her think she's in charge, but when it comes down to the important stuff, Daddy rules the roost.
So Gary Anthony Williams as Dr. Hibbert. Next up, let's do Troy McClure, the beautiful man who seems to have quite the career before stepping into literally everything. He's a little bit washed up, to be honest, but he doesn't show it. He's smiling, he's happy, he genuinely wants to be there. I ended up on Brendan Fraser for this, who amazingly is having quite a comeback, but you can't deny there was a time where Hollywood wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. He came from a very successful franchise, The Mummy, which feels right in line with McClure's past. Plus, he's just pleasant. I want to see Brendan Fraser and more, and I could see him doing this with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek and having some fun with it.
The earmarkings of everything that I would love to play in a character. He's conflicted. He's infinitely human. He's not perfect. Charlie's us. He's just another person. Someone who we could easily dismiss.
So Brendan Fraser as Troy McClure. So there's the casting for the Simpsons series. How do you think I did overall? And what do you want to see next? Nothing is off the table. Please let me know in the comments below. As always though, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.